Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Smile with Prachi. This is Prachi. Now, before starting with today's letters and writers, here's a very interesting thing I want to share with you all. So, the other day I was watching a documentary, and this documentary was about a woman who was born with a genetic disorder that causes a very serious disability. Okay, so this was a woman with a very serious disability that comes from a genetic condition. Now, just like most women her age, she wanted to have her own children, have her own family. So she goes to the doctor, and the doctor tells her very clearly that, see, if you want to have children, here's what could happen. There's a very high possibility of your child having the same defective gene and ending up with the same disability as yours. Okay? So the doctor warns her that if you have children, they might end up with the same fate. She, however, has very strong motherly instincts and she goes ahead. She has not one, not two, not three, not four, but seven children. Seven children. So this whole documentary, and this is a documentary, right? It's a real story. Now this whole documentary revolves around that whole journey of hers, where before every childbirth she prays to God that I hope my child doesn't have the same disability, my child doesn't suffer through the same thing, and then she tells herself, she tells the camera that regardless of what happens, I'm going to love this child because it's my child, right? So her motherly instincts are very strong. So she has seven children. As luck would have it, fortunately, four children turn out to be completely fine without any disabilities, but three children end up having her defective gene. So these three children will live their entire lives with that very serious disability. Okay. Now, this whole documentary is about that, and it makes you pause and think whether her choices were the right choices according to you. And that's what I want to discuss with you all today. So I was scrolling through the comment section while watching this documentary, and there were a lot of mixed opinions, right? A lot of people talked about how a mother's love is so pure and how it's amazing that she will love her children and everything. And she's disabled, mind you. So taking care of seven children in itself is a huge task for her. It's a huge task for anyone, but more so for her, right? So she's making the sacrifices, she's doing the right thing, and that's what the comment section is filled with. But there are a lot of angry, really angry comments as well, that why would she go ahead and do that? Why would she have seven children? Let alone the fact that she should not have a single child. She's having seven children, three of them have this disability. It's very unfortunate. So a lot of people were really angry and they were really lashing out on her. There's just one comment that specifically really stood out, at least for me, was where somebody mentioned that anybody with a defective gene like that, where there is more than 50% chance of the offspring having this disability, okay, anybody with more than 50% chance of having a child with a disability should not be allowed, should not be legally allowed to have their own children, because it's not fair to the child. The child is not making that choice, but that child will have to suffer through the entire life of that disability. It's not fair. So it really makes you pause and think, is it selfish? On one hand, there's a person who's already going through so much in life. So she deserves equal rights as every other human being. She cannot be dehumanized by giving her a different set of legal rules, by saying that no, you can't have children because you have a disability. It sounds a little unfair. But at the same time, isn't it a bit selfish? Because that child didn't choose this life. This child is going to have to live through the entire life like that. So who's right, who's wrong? I would love to hear your opinions on the matter. As for me personally, I've said this before, and my husband, we have decided that we don't want to have any children at all. We are antinatalists, very strong antinatalists. We have strong parental instincts. Like, I have very strong motherly instincts, but for that I have my little dog. I work in orphanages, I work with children. So that's what I do. That's how I keep myself fulfilled. If tomorrow I still feel the need of having a child, I'll adopt. I feel that there are too many little children out there in the world who need a home. I would actually want to adopt a child with a small disability, because these children are usually not adopted by families at all. I would want to raise a child, but I would not want to bring a child into this world, because this world is already overpopulated, and of course there are a lot of other belief systems that we have. So this is what me and my husband think about childbirth in general overall, even for ourselves. But I would love to know what your opinion is, especially on this matter where a person with disability goes ahead and has so many children. Do you think it's the right decision? And if not, why? Right now, starting with the first writer of the day, let me just move my laptop. Starting with the first writer of the day, let's call our first writer of the day um, chemistry. Okay, so the fake name is chemistry. Chemistry says, Dear Prachi, I'm a 22-year-old girl. My brother is 24. We both are hardworking, trying to earn money for our future and our parents. But the problem is my dad. My dad already retired a while ago with zero savings. So all his responsibility is on us. He's so stubborn and just doesn't respect money. He never saved a penny and even today lives off loans from friends and relatives. Things have started getting completely out of hand since we started working because now he is taking bigger loans. His friends and relatives happily fund him at exorbitant interest rates because they know we will come to the rescue and pay off on his behalf eventually. To clarify, he never asks us before taking these loans, knowing we won't agree. He takes loans for the stupidest of things, that is, home interiors, robot vacuum cleaner. Prachi, I am earning 55,000 per month. My brother is at 85,000. We are paying for food, rent, student loans. We can't afford these luxuries when we don't even have proper medical insurance. When we refuse to help pay off his stupid loans, he passive aggressively tells us that he will manage, meaning he will take more loans from others to rotate the money. But who's to pay up in the end really? Us, right? It's a vicious cycle where we are paying through our nose and our dad won't stop spending and people won't stop funding. It is so unfair. At times it feels like he's literally taking advantage of the fact that as his children we can't leave him out on the streets. Please help. Chemistry, I think, yes, this is a very unfortunate situation. As children, yes, you are, it's a good thing to take responsibility of your parents, but it's important for parents to realize that there is a limit. You know, they can't just sit on your head and behave like children and expect you to just take all the load. They have to be responsible adults. They are your parents and they have to behave like adults as well. They can't behave like children. Now, here's what you need to understand, okay? Most human beings, most of us, we have this amazing knack, this amazing ability to increase our demands when we realize that we can afford more, right? We tend to have more needs, we tend to have more demands when we know we can afford more. You can be happy in a 1 BHK, but when you have all the money, you need a penthouse. Suddenly, it becomes very crucial. Just giving you an example. Now, in this case, your dad, his perception of money is very different from yours. And quite honestly, I agree. He is being irresponsible over here. His perception is, okay, my children are making money, I can take loans, things can be handled, but I want this thing right now. He looks at the robot vacuum cleaner and he wants it right now. Okay, so he doesn't think of the money. But the back of his mind, he knows that you will take care of things. So here's what you need to do. Okay, to solve for this problem, you have to cut it right from the root. The root being, excuse me, the root being your father's awareness, your father's knowledge of how much you guys are earning. You have made this mistake of telling your father how much you are earning and how much money you have. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to go and tell your father that, Dad, there's going to be massive layoffs in my company for the next 3 months. It's going to be very, very hard. I might get laid off too. It might happen. Okay, after 2-3 weeks, let your brother also go and tell him the same thing, that my company is going to start firing people left, right, center. They are making a lot of losses, so I might get fired too. Okay, just tell your dad that. So obviously at this point he'll not think very seriously about it. He'll be like, okay, it'll be fine, because apparently that's how he is. But here's what you're going to do. After 1.5 months of giving him this news of layoffs, possible layoffs, you tell him that as a part of the cost cutting scheme, they have decided to not just lay off people, but they will also reduce my salary. So they're reducing my salary by 30% or 25%. Just tell him that now my salary is not going to be 55K, now my salary is going to be much lesser, 35, 40K, whatever. Okay, so number one, you have told your dad that you might get laid off. You have told your dad that your salary has reduced. Your brother also does the same thing. So now, as per your dad, you're not earning that much. You're earning much lesser. At the back of his mind, it will make a difference. Okay, that's number one. Another thing that you need to take care of and you need to understand here is that in these scenarios, usually there'll be two or three people, at the most four or five people in your dad's life who are actually giving him these loans. Do you know who these people are? I think you might be aware, right? Who are these friends? Who are these relatives who are giving him loans? Now, here's what you need to understand. When somebody is giving loans at exorbitant rates, they are still concerned. They need to know that their money will be coming back, their money will come back to them, right? If at some point these people realize that your dad may not be able to pay them off, they will stop giving the loans. So here's what you need to do. After you've told him about his salary cut and all those things, after 2 3 months, just tell your dad that you are in debt. Okay, you made some bad investments in stock market or something. Just make up some story, and say you need a little bit of money for your loan yourself. Okay, and get connected with these 4 5 friends and relatives that your dad has who are helping with his loans. Approach them and say you need loan from them. Okay, so now what is happening is your salary has reduced and you need loan because you're also in debt. Now these people will be suddenly like, oh my god, the kids were supposed to pay for the loans, but the kids are themselves only asking for loans. Who's going to pay my money? Who's going to pay the debt? Right? Now these people will suddenly get a bit scared. So they'll be like, acha beta, how much money you want? Just make up some random number. So they'll say, okay, we'll give you this money or whatever, if they refuse also or whatever. Okay. If they agree to pay you the loan amount, say, okay, I'll get back to you in 2 weeks. Don't get back to them. Tell them that, okay, I have managed for now, but I might come back to you for more loan later. So now what happens is these people who are paying money to your dad, knowing that he will pay back, are suddenly confused whether your dad will be able to pay back or not. So even they will start cutting out. Okay, going forward, be very very careful. You have to be very smart about what you're telling your dad. You have to be very smart about what your dad is telling you. Okay, because usually these kind of expenses don't just come up in one day. So for example, when he wanted home interiors, he'll probably be building some background that, oh, this is looking so bad, this is not looking nice, this is inconvenient, this needs to be changed. So keep a watch out. So if you think your dad is again going down that road and planning for an expense, just tell him right up, oh my god, I don't have money. Oh my god, I just lost so much of money. Oh my god, this happened. So again, he'll be like, okay, my children don't have money, who's going to pay off my loans? And if he still doesn't stop, let him take loans. Don't pay off. Don't pay off for a while. Don't pay off for 1 year, 2 years. What will he do? He will rotate the money. He'll take loan from elsewhere. He'll rotate the money. Let him keep rotating. After a point, these people will get fed up of giving him loans, and he will not have any more people to give him loans. So he will be stuck in that loop eventually, right? So do that. Now, moving to the next writer of the day, who we are gonna call. I completely forgot what we call the first writer. Okay, let's call a second writer of the day mobile phone. Okay, mobile. Mobile says, hi Prachi. I'm a 19-year-old guy. My girlfriend is of the same age. We have been dating for 4 months, and honestly, while some of it has been good, a lot of it has been so stressful. She's constantly commenting on how I could dress up better, style my hair, lose weight, even though I'm not overweight, by the way. She also keeps bragging about how so many guys chase after her and she could get anyone she wants. Once she complained that we don't look like the perfect couple because my jawline is too weak. I still don't know what that even means. And indirectly compares me to random men. The other day, we wanted to catch her for a quick walk in the park, so I put on my track pants and old t shirt and she started off again. She was almost hysterical while commenting that it's natural for attraction to fade when your partner stops taking care of their looks, and that this is how people start cheating. Now, it's been very stressful at home for me, Prachi. My parents are considering divorce because my mom is having an affair. Couldn't she spare me this nonsense, especially that cheating remark? I got super irritated and roasted her to hell. I told her that guys only like her because she wears so much makeup and haven't seen her acne marks. That nobody would have given her a second look if she stopped wearing her severely padded bras. I told her that she looks absolutely disgusting and stormed off. None of this is true, by the way. She's actually quite pretty. Anyway, she's really mad at me now. She has told all her friends what I did, and now they all are calling to trash me from my behavior. I do feel guilty and want to apologize, but she refuses to talk to me. I know I did an awful thing, but can this be fixed? Mobile phone, I have a question for you. Before I answer your question, I have a question for you. Why are you guys even in this relationship? You guys have been together for 4 months and clearly there is no respect. See, if you're with somebody who you love and respect and that person loves and respects you back, all this doesn't happen. It's a lot easier than this. So please move out. You both are just 19 years old and she's dragging you down. Now let me just help you understand where her behavior is coming from, because her behavior could have really impacted your self esteem. So I really want to clarify something. In psychology, this is known as projecting. She's projecting her own insecurities, her own anger on you. Okay, she puts a lot of pressure on herself to look good. She needs the approval of the world, and she is dragging you through this hell along with herself. Please run as far as possible. This is toxic. This relationship is turning abusive. You cannot fix her. She needs to fix herself. And it's not going to work out for you. It's only going to hurt your self esteem. You'll keep compromising and trying to make her happy, eventually getting really frustrated in the process. Now, you both are just 19 years old, and I'm very, very concerned about you guys. I really want to ask you, first things first, did you ever confront her about her behavior? If not, why? When somebody hurts you, when somebody is bullying you, you need to stand up to them. I'm a big advocate of standing up and speaking up for yourself. You need to do that in the right way, though. Okay, you need to be assertive, you need to tell them to back off, but you need to do that in the right way. There's a huge difference between defending yourself versus being cruel. Your part of the behavior was outright cruel. She's already going through low self esteem, and what you did was cruel. Okay, now let me pause here. I don't mean to make you feel guilty. I think this cheating part was a very big trigger point for you. Your parents are probably going to get divorced because your mom was cheating on the dad, and now she's justifying this whole act of cheating by projecting her own insecurities onto you. It's too messed up. It was a big trigger point. The word cheating is obviously a big trigger point for you right now. She could have been more sensitive. You need a sensitive girlfriend. She's not able to do that. So obviously it got you angry, it set you off. Now here's what I want you to understand, okay? I don't want you to keep thinking about the things that she did and getting angry. I don't want you to keep feeling guilty and making yourself more angry. You're going through a lot, and quite honestly, I feel very sorry for you at this point. You're going through a lot of pain in your life. There are a few things I want you to understand before I end this video. Number one, your parents having a divorce. Please don't equate the incidents happening in your life with that. Okay, at this point of time, you're probably going to keep telling yourself that no, I can't break up, I need to have a better take on relationships in life than my parents, I don't want to fail like my parents, right? Don't do that. Don't equate your relationships, your life with your parents. What they are doing is their marriage. It's not your responsibility, it's not your fault, and it doesn't define you. Okay, you will live your own life, you will learn your own lessons. Number one. Number two, you breaking up does not reflect badly upon you. Okay. Number three, what you said was said in anger. It was cruel, but everyone gets angry. You can forgive yourself for this anger. Since you do seem like a good guy who's trying to do the right thing, I would suggest send her an apology message. She's not taking your calls. Send her an apology. Okay, say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I said things in my anger, and I hope this doesn't make you feel any less of yourself. All the best for your life and future. You can tell her that you were attracted to her good looks when you started dating, and you still think she's very pretty. You can say one or two things like that. Apologize with no ifs, no buts, no justifications. Just apologize. You can do that. Okay, but remember, apologizing does not mean you go back to her. Being a good guy, being a nice guy, trying to do the right thing doesn't mean that you have to stay in an abusive relationship. She's not right for you. And most importantly, what you need to do, because you're going through so much of stress at home yourself, please surround yourself with the right kind of people who have the right kind of vibe, people who make you happy, people whose company you enjoy, where there is no stress. Okay, you need that in your life right now, because things are very difficult at home. Okay, I don't want you to take away from this letter any guilt, any anger, any frustration. You are a human. You had an outburst. In future, when somebody behaves badly with you, you confront them then and there instead of waiting for it to pile on and then having this big outburst. Case in point, her friends, they are calling you up to abuse you and say mean things. Next time one of them calls you, just say, look, I have apologized to her. And number two, there are two sides to every story. You have heard one side of the story, you don't know mine, and I'm not going to tell you because we have broken up. Okay? And I have respect for my ex girlfriend. I'm not going to wash my dirty linen in public, but you're not going to call me and tell me how to live my life. Okay, so this is how you're going to stand up for yourself. What the friends are doing, all this drama is, again, God, this is all so toxic. And I really hope that you can see this entire experience as a learning experience. Life is tough. You're just 19. There will be a lot many more experiences, difficult people, difficult scenarios. um, every time something like that happens, take it as a learning life experience. See what you have learned, see what you can gather, how you can grow from it. Okay, so yes, guys, that's all I want to share in today's Smile with Prachi video. These were my suggestions for the two writers of the day. If you have any suggestions of your own, please share them with my writers in the comment section below. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys again next week. Bye bye.